Well, hello Divi Nation, and welcome to a brand new Divi use case live stream where each week we show you how to add new design and functionality to your Divi websites. Today in this live stream tutorial, we are going to be showing you how you can create a pop-up login form with some custom login and logout buttons in Divi. Don't forget to check the video description for more info on this post. And without wasting time, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. All right, so welcome everyone to our live stream. Go ahead and let us know where you're from. Say hello in the chat, and also give me a thumbs up if you can hear the audio and the stream's coming in okay for you guys, so I can know I'm good to go. All right, so as we are trickling in and as you are letting me know that you can hear me, I will continue by giving you a little heads up on what we're going to be doing today. This is the example you can see on our screen here right now. This is the crowdfunding free header footer here. And as you can see at the top right, there's a logout button. That is because I am currently logged in. So it shows the logout button. And when I click it, you'll see a pop-up. It says, "You are attempting to log out of Elegant Themes. Are you sure?" And then it has the logged in as my username and then the big logout button here. So as you can see, this is the pop-up functionality, and it's pulling in this Divi login form that allows me to click this logout link. And if I do, I'll go ahead and click it. You can see it redirects me to the same page. Well, I guess it doesn't redirect at all. It just keeps me on the same page. And up in the top right, you can see that now it says login, ready for me to log in. If I click on that, you can see the pop-up now has the form I need to log in. Just gonna fill that in and click login. And then it'll keep me on the same page. And now I am logged in. So, excuse me, that's the functionality we're going for. A nice front-end design solution for logging in and logging out of your website. And all this can be done creating our using the Divi theme builder to create the layouts and create the pop-up and all that. I'll show you how to do that today. That's where we're going. That's what we're doing. And I think we've got some people in the chat already saying hello. So hello to you guys. Tony, thanks for letting me know it's all good. All right, Kumar, thank you, welcome. And Don, thanks for the clarification there that you can hear me. Okay. Esteemed Choice from Nigeria, welcome. All right. All right, so we'll continue on here. If you're just joining us, we are creating a pop-up login form in Divi with some custom log out and log in buttons to generate that pop-up. And hopefully it'll create a nice or boost the user experience a bit, allow you to have a nice front-end design for your login forms, and without having to redirect to a login page or anything like that. So let's go ahead and build this thing, shall we? Of course, you can always chime in and ask questions in the chat as we go along. Hopefully I can address them. If not, someone in the chat should or may be able to help. Nathan, thanks for joining us. Says that he's done so well using Divi and it's his most favorite theme ever. Awesome, good to hear. Jay, welcome. I'm doing well. I appreciate that. Hope you are as well. Let's continue on. So we're going to be building this within our theme builder. So to get started, you're going to go to your WordPress dashboard, navigate to Divi, and then theme builder. And once you're there, we're going to import a already pre-made header and footer template from our website. And you can find that by going to our blog, elegantthemes.com/blog. And there you can search for and find the free header and footer for Divi's crowdfunding layout pack. I thought we'd jumpstart the design a bit by using a pre-made layout. Of course, you can add this customization or this login form pop-up functionality to any header or any layout rather in Divi. So we're just going to get a head start by downloading this one and importing it into our theme builder. So just go down and click to get it for free. There'll be an email opt-in that you just enter your email in, and then this button will show up and you click to download the file. Once the file is downloaded to your computer, go over to the theme builder, click the portability icon. In that modal, go ahead and click the import tab, and then go ahead and choose that file to be uploaded or imported. I'm just going to drag mine in here. Make sure you unzip it first. It'll be a JSON file. And then I'm not going to override my global template right now. So I'm just going to uncheck that and then import. And then there's an error, which is always nice. Let me refresh. It's probably because I was testing it out and logging in and logging out. All right, we'll try that again. All right, so we're going to import this one. And I'm going to import it as a static layout. And there it is. Okay, so I'm going to assign this. I don't need the footer. I'm just going to delete the footer template. And here's my custom header ready for me to edit. But before I do that, I'm going to assign it to the home page just so we can test it out later. Of course, you can always make it global like this one here. In fact, while I'm here, I'm just going to disable this template. Save changes. I don't really need to disable it. Oh well, that's good for now. So I'm going to save the changes, and now it should show up on my home page as that out of the box. This is what it looks like. As you can see, a little different, but we're going to go in and edit that. So to do that, go into the custom header template and click the edit icon. Bring us to that header layout editor here, which is essentially the Divi builder for templates. So I'm going to go ahead and make things a lot easier by opening up my settings and clicking on my layers view. And there's my layers modal here. And I'm going to open everything, and I'm going to drag this down. And so here's my main header section here. And inside that, I have a top row that has this content with the buttons and everything. And then the bottom row has my menu and my call to action here. I'm really only interested in the login button here and creating a login and logout button in this column. So what we're going to do is we're going to just keep everything else the same. I'm going to delete this module here. I don't really need it. In fact, so I'm going to just delete it. And over here, this is in my third column where that login button is. I'm going to go from my layers view, and I'm just going to go in here and edit that button. So all right, I'm going to keep my settings over here so that you can see it. I guess I can keep it there because I want to keep my layers view open. And so we're going to style this button and give it a custom class. So that's going to be the first thing we're doing. All right, so first thing under my button settings, I'm going to go over to the Design tab, open up my button settings, and I'm going to, as you can see, it already has some some styles already there from my pre-made layout there. That's all good. We can keep that, but we are going to make a few adjustments. For example, we are going to add an icon. So to do that, find the lock icon. You can choose whatever icon you want. And if I can find it, we're good to go. All right, so there it is. Okay. So we want that lock icon, and we want to change the settings from button icon placement from the right to the left. And we want to show it always. So now you can see there it pops up right there on the left side of my login button text. And then jump down to the spacing. We're going to give it some custom padding. Right now it has 0.5 M on the top and bottom, which is fine, but I do want to adjust the padding to accommodate for my button icon. So I'm going to do 2 M. Whoa, that's a lot. Okay, I'm going to unlink it. So 2 M on the left, and on the right, I'm going to bring it to 0.7, which is kind of like almost the default setting for a button, but close. All right, that's it. I think we're good. Now we're going to add our class to the button. In fact, we're going to add 2 classes to it. So under the Advanced tab, go to my CSS classes. I'm going to paste these 2 classes, which you can see in our blog post that goes along with it if you need to refer back to that. And I've linked to that blog post in the chat in the video description, so make sure and click that for more info. The 2 classes are this first one is ET toggle popup. That's just going to be used to toggle the actual pop-up we're going to create. And this next class is called ET popup login button, because I'm going to target that login button separately later on in our code. So these 2 are essential. Make sure you have those in there for later on. Save it out. And we're going to create another button. So the idea is to hide the login button whenever you're actually logged in, and then show the login button whenever you're not logged in. And we're going to create another button, a logout button, that does the same functionality, shows whenever you're logged in and is hidden whenever you're logged out. So that's the idea. To create this functionality, we're going to create 2 buttons. And so I'm just going to duplicate that login button there. As you can see, it's kind of side by side, and that's because I've added in this custom layout, there's display flex in the column that allows you to put modules vertically, or kind of horizontally aligned adjacent to one another very easily. That's why it's showing up like that. But you don't really need it to do that for any other header. It's okay if it sits underneath, that's fine. It's going to be hidden and shown anyway, so we're good. All right, so that duplicate button, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to change the name from login to logout, or the text, I should say. And I'm going to update the button icon. All right. Nothing too crazy. This is easy so far. All right, so let's see that icon. Yeah, let's go to the icon and let's change it from that lock button to the unlock button. Icon. And I think that's it. Now we need to go to the Advanced tab. And the two classes that it inherited when it was duplicated, we can keep that first one, but the second one needs to change. It doesn't need to be ET Popup Login button. It needs to be ET Popup Logout button. So there's a different class for that button. And then save the changes. All right. Now we're ready for our next step, which is to create the pop-up section. So this we're going to actually create a new section that will pop up whenever we click on these buttons. So to do that, we're actually going to create a whole new regular section underneath our current section in the header layout here. So I'm going to add a new section, make it a regular, give it a 1-column row. That's fine. I'm not going to add any of the modules yet. And I'm going to shorten up my layers view. Bring it over here out of the way a little bit. Oh, it can stay there, I guess. Where should I put you, layers view? I do not know. Okay. All right, so I need to edit my section first. Let's do that. So my section settings, again, this is our pop-up. So I'm going to give it a custom background color. I'm just going to give it a white background color. And I'm just kind of trying to match the design that's already there on this layout. So you can, of course, customize your design however you need for your own website. All right. All right, so there's my background. I'm gonna customize the width here. So go to my design tab, my sizing, my width needs to be, I'm just gonna give it 100%. It's probably just gonna do that by default. And then I'm gonna do a max width. I'll open up my responsive options here. And for desktop, I'm gonna give it a max width of 800 pixels. So, because we don't want the section to be too large, make sure it still looks like a pop-up. On desktop though, we'll change that to 80%, right? Yes, 80%. And then for phone, you can bring it to 100%. All right. Make sure the section alignment is centered because we gave it a custom width. And let's bring this over here. All right, so now our section has our custom size. I also need to add a custom padding. So I'll go to my spacing and let's take out that default top and bottom padding, set it to 0. And for our border options, we're gonna add some rounded corners of just 10 pixels across or all the way around there. And scroll down, we're gonna add a box shadow so it's, looks more like a pop-up. You can see, now we can see kind of the shape of our section there. And let's go ahead and give it more of a, sorry, my mouse is sensitive. Blur strength, let's do 100 pixels, give it a lot of blur strength. And then for the spread, let's just do, actually I like that. We'll just keep it like that. All right. And then go over to our advanced tab and we need to give it also a custom class. So we're going to do that. And we're just going to give it this class called ET Popup Login. And I do want to add a little line of CSS to the main element. And what that one is overscroll behavior is contain. And that means like whenever you get like, especially like on mobile or whatever, and your pop-up contains content that maybe goes past the page, or it overflows the bottom of the page, we want to make sure and have that scroll capability so we can see all of the pop-up. Not sure why your login form will have a whole bunch of content, but sometimes it does. And if that's the case, you want to make sure that this overscroll behavior is contained to that element whenever you're scrolling. Not important. If it doesn't make sense to you, just make sure it's in there to maximize your user experience there. I kind of jumped out of my settings too quickly. Let's go back to the advanced tab, and I do want to give it custom visibility options. For my overflow, I'm going to hide it on the horizontal overflow. And for the vertical, I'm going to set it to auto. That way we can scroll if we ever come to a small enough browser, like on phone, that will need that scroll capability, just in case. The position, let's go to our position options. This is very important. We want to make sure and have a fixed position for our pop-up and give it the location of center, so right in the center there. And give it a really large Z index just in case, so we can see it on above everything else on the page. And I think that about does it for our section pop-up. I'm going to save out those settings. And let's go ahead and check in the chat real quick before we go into our next step, which is to go and customize our row settings. A question, oh, we got hello, Jal Dabuka. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Hello from Romania. And Peter, sorry, I didn't welcome you earlier. I apologize. Welcome, Peter. No, nothing personal. Jay has a question. Why haven't you guys still added? Why haven't you guys added an easiest way to add pop-up like? I guess within the theme builder. Oh, so you requested that we have this kind of built-in pop-up feature. That is a good feature. I hope that we'll have one in future updates, or maybe for our Divi 5.0 release or something like that. I'm not sure. I can't say for sure or not, but that would be nice to have. Thanks for the suggestion. Apologize that we don't have that. But at least we'll know how to do it from scratch here. Andy asks, welcome Andy, does anyone know when the next big update for Divi is going to be? Honestly, I haven't looked into it, and I know we are good at not telling you guys exactly when those updates are going to come out, and I apologize for that. I honestly don't know until the developers kind of finish it and let us know, but good question. I hope it's soon. I honestly haven't looked into it. It's my fault. Just kind of been sticking to my own work right now, but if anyone knows, or if anyone can chime in on that, maybe you know and I don't. But I'm going to jump back into the tutorial. Thanks for the questions, guys. Keep putting those in there. Let's see. All right, let's continue on. We're going to go to our row settings now. If you're just joining us, welcome to our Divi use case live stream, where each week we show you how to add Divi design and functionality to your websites. And today what we're doing here is creating a login pop-up form using Divi, and with some custom login and logout buttons. We've already created the buttons here. And now we've created our pop-up section and styled that. As you can see, it's kind of fixed here within the middle of the page, which is what we want. And now we're going to edit the row settings within that section pop-up. All right, so under the row settings, we're going to go to the design tab, give it a custom size, and we're going to give it custom gutter width. We're going to bring it down to 1. That takes out any default margins between elements and between columns. We don't need that. And then we're going to give a width of 100% and a max width of 100%. Make sure it spans the full width of my section. And then for my spacing, I'm going to do 0 padding on the top. And on the bottom, I'm going to add 5 VH, viewport height. So that'll give me a little padding down there. All right, so that takes care of my row. Now within my column here of my row, it's a single column here, I need to add a new module. So this module is going to be a blurb module that's going to be used to create our close pop-up icon. So let's go ahead and save that. Or I'm sorry, add that. Let's go ahead and add a blurb. And of course, all I'm going to be using this blurb for is the actual icon. So I'm going to delete all this content. Don't need it. And for my image, an icon, I'm going to click to use the icon, and I'm going to click the X icon there. Jump over to the design options and let's style it a little bit. Let's give it a custom color. Give it that same green that matches the layout. All that looks good. We're going to give it a custom font size of 50 pixels. And let's go to the sizing. I'm just going to create or give it a width of 50 pixels as well, and also a height of 50 pixels. So it's just kind of like a nice square. And then I'm going to align it to the right, and that'll serve as our icon that we're going to click to close out the pop-up whenever we need to. And we're going to add that same CSS class that we've added to our buttons so that we can toggle and then close that section whenever we need. So ET toggle pop-up. So add that class to the blurb and then click Save Changes. We're good. So now we're ready for this next part, which is to actually create our logged out and logged in forms. So we're going to create two forms. We're going to create a logged out version and then a logged in version. And we're going to show one whenever you're logged out and show another whenever you're logged in. This will allow us to customize the user experience a bit and allow us to create more unique content for that logged out and logged in form whenever we need. And also to design it differently if we need to as well. All right, so underneath my blurb here, I'm just going to add another module, but this time it's going to be the login form module. So let's go ahead and add that. And I guess we can keep this mock content. I'm going to cut it down just a little bit so it doesn't take up too much space. So I'm just going to keep the title and mock body content there. Under my redirect option, you have this nice option to redirect to the current page, which I like. I'm just going to click yes. So if not, I think it's just going to redirect to your dashboard or a WordPress dashboard by default. So once that's selected, let's go ahead and customize it a little bit. Just going to paste in this field text or field background color. So under my fields options here, you know what? I need to take out that background color. Forgot to do that. So let's do that. Go to my content tab and then under my background, click use to not use the background color. As you can see, my text is hidden because we need to give it some dark text, but My fields, add that field background color to it. Let's go ahead and scroll, and for my text option, I'm going to make my text alignment centered and choose the text color dark. So now we can see everything nicely, which is what I want. For the title text, we can give it a custom font. I'm just going to do Poppins because it matches the layout. Make it semi-bold, and we can just keep that text color or make it black, stand out more. And then the line height, I'm going to choose, let's do 1.3 em for the line height. And then for my body text, I'm going to choose a custom font. Let's do Work Sans. All right. And now what we need to do is, I'm going to save that out for now because I want to customize my button, but I'm just going to cheat a little bit. And I'm going to go to my button settings up here for my logout button. Or, well, let's do login. Sorry, not logout. So I'm going to open up those settings for my login button. And then under my design tab, I'm going to, let's go ahead and open up the button settings. And you can see my little 3-dot menu here. I'm just going to click on that. You can also just right click on the button options. And I'm going to copy those button styles. All right. Then I'm going to go to my login form. Under my button options, click Use Custom Styles for Button. I'm going to paste the button styles. All right. So there you go. I got them pasted in there. I'm going to save it out at this point. Because I've been working in the theme builder for a while. I just want to make sure that everything's saved. So I'm just going to do a quick save. I'm going to exit out and save my changes. All right, we're good. Let's jump back into my custom header again. As you can see, that the form now has that custom button or the custom styling for the button, paste it in there. But I do want to make a slight change to the button text and the background. So I'm going to make my button text white and make my background color match that green. So, and then when you hover over it, I'm going to make it that lighter green, I guess. Okay. So there we go. It's kind of looking like that button up there a little bit. That's what I'm going for. So the button border width, I'm just going to take it out. And the custom padding for the button, where are you? I'm going to add 15 pixels to the top and bottom. Just give it a little bit more padding, make it bigger. All right. Under my sizing options, I'm going to make my button 100% width, but I am going to give it a max width. So of 80%. And this is for my login form, not my button per se. So because this is going to be a full width, I'm going to make sure it spans the full width. Right now it's in this 2-column layout, but I'm going to make sure it's not. I'm going to make sure it goes 1 column and spans the full width. And once it does, I don't want it to span the entire width of the column. So I'm giving it a max width on desktop. And then on tablet, I'm going to do 90%, not 90 pixels. There we go. And then on phone, we're going to do 95. That is 9%. There we go. All right. Let's go back to my desktop view. Make sure the module alignment is centered. Okay. And under my advanced tab, I do need to add a custom class. because we need to identify this one and target it as the logged out version of the form. So under my CSS class there, I'm going to paste it in, ET logged out form class there. And then for my custom CSS, this is the little, trick that I'm going to do to make sure that this title and description span the full width and my form spans the full width. So for my login description CSS, I'm going to paste in this code, which is basically setting the width to 100% and taking out that float property. And as you can see now, it's going full width. And to make sure the same thing happens for my form, I'm going to add a width of 100% and a padding of 0. And now it looks nice. All right, I'm going to save that out. And now we're going to create our next version of the form. So the logged in version. So this is our logged out version. Now we're going to create our logged in version. All right, but before I do that, let's go ahead and just check the functionality of what we have so far. So going on the front live version of the page, you can see I have my two buttons lying side by side. Oh, and something popped up. That's because it's going to be shown by default, but we're going to hide it initially. And you can see here that it's showing the logged in version, which is what we're going to create, because it's not showing the login form because we're already logged in. It's just showing this text with that button. So what we're going to do is create a logged in version that stylizes this experience, this form, when it's in this state, to have a custom style. All right. So that's what we're doing. I hope that makes sense. So to do that, I'm going to duplicate this logged out version and open up the settings. Let's open up my layers view so we can see where we are. So right here we have, I can label this. So we have a logged out form. Oh, I can't spell form. And then a logged in form. So this will be my logged in version of the form. Okay, and I'm opening those settings and I'm going to change up my content. So this is cool. I'm going to add a new dynamic title. And I don't need any body. Well, I do, but I don't need that default body content. So for my title, I'm going to add some dynamic. You don't have to do this, but I thought it would be cool. So to show you how to do this, I'm going to add the site title as a part of that title. And as you can see now, it shows Elegant Themes, which is the title I gave to this little staging site here. And I'm going to click on the edit, the dynamic site title. And then before it, I'm going to add this text, kind of like a custom warning. You are attempting to log out of, and then site title will show up after that. And then after the site title, I'm just going to add a period. All right, easy enough. Save it out, and now you have kind of a custom dynamic warning there. And then to add to the warning, I'm just going to add this H3 header, which is basically saying, are you sure? So once that's in there, I need to style the actual link within this one. So remember, this is going to be the logged in version. So when the user's already logged in and sees this pop up, it's going to show what I showed you here. And this button right here is actually, this link right here can still be stylized, even though we can't see it by default. This little message is going to replace that form that we see, going back. We see the form right now, but it's going to be replaced with that little message, with that link. So I want to kind of think ahead and use the Divi options to style the link that's eventually going to be shown there. So under my design tab, under the body text, click the link tab. And then there, it's going to, I can give a custom font if I want. I make it Work Sans, semi-bold. And you can see it's kind of changing the link there, the forgot your password link. But remember, that's not going to be shown on that version, on this version of the form. And then I'm going to give it a link font style of uppercase, and then make sure it's centered. The link text alignment is centered, and then the link color, I'm actually going to give it a white color, which makes it really unable to be seen. But what I'm going to do with some custom CSS later is just kind of give it a background that matches this button, so it looks like that button. So basically, I'm styling this link to look like the button, the login button, using some combination of the built-in settings here and then some custom CSS later on. So if you're confused, you're not able to see this styling at this point, but you will on the live version. I do need to make sure and change my CSS class for this form, because remember, this is the logged in form, not the logged out form. So I'm going to change it to the ET logged in form class. And to make things kind of like easier and to understand on the front end, I'm going to update my custom CSS. And instead of just modifying this form, I don't really need to see it at all. So I'm just going to put display none here, because we're not going to ever see this form unless we're actually logged in. So we don't really need the login part of the form, the actual form part. We just need that message that generates, and that's going to be shown in the login description. All right, and let's go ahead and save that out. And save it again. If we look at it now, this is the logged in version, and this is the logged out version. Well, it's actually showing both, logged out or logged in versions right now. But we're going to hide this one whenever we're actually logged in, to only show this one with this custom message. And this button we can't see because it has white text, but we're going to add some custom CSS to it, and as well as add that functionality. All right, so let's do that. But before I add my code, let me go make sure that I'm not ignoring too many people here in the chat. Let's see. Hello, Felipe. Welcome from Chile. Good to have you. Kinsley from Nigeria. Welcome. Let's see. MB. When will we get some speed update? It's way overdue. I know. I think we had one fairly recently. I don't remember that or when it was last done, but I think with each update, I think we're always trying to think about speed and make sure that it's a priority. But yeah, thanks for the suggestion there. I'm not sure when the next big speed update will take place, but always good to, on our blog, we have a tutorial on how to optimize your site for speed. Make sure you have good hosting and all that good stuff. But an important part. All right, so for sake of time, we're going to jump back in here and finish this out by adding our custom code. So the first thing we're going to do is add our code module. I'm just going to add it right below my logged in form module here, and add a code module underneath the, so there we go. In my code, I'm going to maximize this, or I guess just make it larger so we can see. I need to add a style, wrap my code in style tags, because I'm going to add the CSS first. So I'm going to paste in the CSS, and I've added some helpful comments to each one. But the main thing to notice about this is that the CSS is using this, and I'm going to let's see. So if you notice that the CSS is using this class called logged in, that's nothing I added. That's built into WordPress, and it's just kind of a way for you to target things whenever you're logged in. So that's what I'm using to kind of hide elements like the logged in button or login button, and to show and hide things whenever you're logged in. All right, so I'm also showing and hiding the logged in and logged out version of the login form. So there's two forms being toggled here, or shown here whenever you're logged in or logged out. And there's two buttons being shown whenever you're logged in and logged out. And the CSS is basically hiding that whenever it's needed to be hidden. This bottom CSS here is just a way for us to keep those elements visible within the theme builder whenever you're editing the layout. Underneath that, we're going to add our jQuery or JavaScript. And to do that, we need a script, wrap it in script tags. So add a script tag, and we're going to paste in that code here, which you can find on our blog post that goes along with it, which you can find a link to that in the video description. And so we're going to paste in that. It's really short and sweet. All it's doing basically is when you click on any of the elements with that class toggle popup, we're going to toggle that form. I'm sorry, not form, the section that contains the forms in it. And so that's all that's doing. Basically, we're toggling that section that's already in the fixed position on and off whenever we click this element with this class. And there's actually 3 different elements with that class. There's both the login and logout buttons. So when you click either of those, it's going to pop up and close the section if needed. And also that X icon is going to also be used there. All right, so real easy, not too crazy of functionality. It's nice to be able to do this without a plugin. I'm going to save it and view it on the live page here. As you can see, now the section is hidden by default. You can see my logged out version of the button, or my logged out button is visible, but the log in button is hidden. When I click on it, you can see, oh, yes, my log out link is now styled. I didn't mention that, but I have some CSS there that styles that button. But if I click on the X, it'll close it out. Let's open it back up. If I click log out, it'll keep me on the same page, but now I see a login button. Click on that one. Now we see the logged out version of the form, which is actually a login form, which is what we want. And we're going to log back in. And there's my log out button again. And so there's the kind of the user experience. I going to close out my, yeah, see, I've been logging in and out and now it doesn't like me. Okay, so I'm going to refresh. All right, and go back in real quick to show you that CSS I was talking about, and then we'll call it a day. And ask any last minute questions that you have. All right. Let's go in there. Oh, sorry. I need to get to that code modules. So to do that, I'm gonna go to my layers view, open everything, and it's at the very bottom. Let's open up my code module, and you'll see the CSS here right there. And that's the CSS that gives that button here, or that link, that button design that we were going for. All right. Any questions before we close? Let's see, we have a few. Jean. Let's see, I have a question. Why does Divi get slow when creating sites? And I use a high-end PC. I mean, I don't know specifically. A lot of it has to do with your environment, I guess. If you're building locally, if you're on what your hosting provider is like. But maybe you have a lot of content on your page and might slow down the Divi builder. Not sure. But I do know that we always try to, and there has been updates that have made the Divi builder faster as well on the back end, as well as your site on the front end. But I don't know specifically, maybe in your case, why that's happening. What are the recommended requirements for Divi to work efficiently? Not a question maybe I can answer in the last minute or so that we have here. I apologize. Yes, and Jeff makes a good point that Google announced this week that speed is going to be, it's going to affect search rankings. We're aware of that. And we are always going to make sure that Divi stays with the times in future updates. So although I don't have any concrete answers, I do have, you can expect for us to make it a priority. Is there a way to avoid the logout confirmation? I guess you can. I think it's basically, you can, I guess, take out the logout button if you really wanted to, and then only show maybe a version of the form on the menu that has that link to logout. Kind of hide everything except that link and let that be your logout button. Maybe that would work. But yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, you're going for just a one-click logout solution, not have to have that pop-up toggle. I think that would work. I would, instead of having a logout button at the top, change that to an actual form, the logged out form, and strip it all away, everything except for that link, that logout link. That's how I would do it in Divi, and because it does generate a redirect or a custom link there that you would want to use. So, so Jeff, okay, yes. Can I pass along the question? The recommended requirements for Divi to work efficiently. I would double check our documentation and our blog to make sure that you've kind of searched there. I know we have articles related to that. But you're probably wondering, like, since our recent updates are now or whatever. But yeah, I'll try and pass that along or keep it in mind. All right. Our final result, one more time, here is our log out, log in button that creates our pop-up here. I'll click log out, and there's my login button. Click it again, and make sure and log in. All right. Okay, let's, looks like we're good here. Can you make a tutorial for programmers explaining how to make a template like this? All right, good suggestion. Salzabil. Thank you for that. Okay. Okay, that's all I got for you this week, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And also, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our blog newsletter, our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook. And don't forget to click to get those notifications so that we can let you know every single time we have something new for you, like one of these live streams. And we'll be back here actually next Tuesday with another Divi use case live stream, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.